A pleasant and eventful Monday evening to all. Gabrielle Lopez here, homegrown, and happy to bring you PTV News Now. So let's get right to the stories that people are talking about. The Office of Civil Defense has had a full plate to work on and more since last week when Typhoon Opong barreled through to ravage the country. And then less than 48 hours after her exit, the killer 6.9 magnitude earthquake hit Cebu late night Tuesday last week. Earlier today, the OCD's regional office in Tacloban dispatched a water tanker and a high-capacity desalination unit to Biliran Province to respond to the dire calls of a serious shortage of safe drinking water in the communities ravaged by Hurricane Bualoy, aka Typhoon Opong. In addition, the OCD shipped hundreds of cases of bottled mineral water to augment the water tanker and desalination unit delivery. With much-needed help from the 546th Engineering Construction Battalion, the desalination unit was put in place in the town center of Almena, providing mass access to local residents and those from nearby communities and localities. These major relief operations complement those initiated by local government units, which showcase and epitomize the whole of government in approach to disaster response. Public trust and confidence on the legislature has dramatically dropped as unexpected corollary to the flood control mess that has consumed the news cycle, hampered government work, and ignited a massive public indignation against government agencies and legislature and the Public Works and Highways Department in particular. Earlier today, House Speaker Faustino D. III admitted and bewailed the growing public fury against Congress's lower house for the continuing discovery and disclosure of hundreds of billions of pesos pocketed by corrupt House lawmakers in conspiracy with DPWH officials and other vested interests in government by way of poorly and incompletely built flood control structures and phantom projects. The biggest personality in flood control mess, whose name has been mentioned by DPWH resource persons and pointed to putting in the most budget insertions on FCPs in the 2025 GAA, is former Ako Bicol party list representative Elizalde Co, followed by resigned House Speaker Martin Romualdez and Caloocan Representative Mitch Kajacon Uy. He lamented the fact how certain House staff and personnel have ditched wearing the employee uniforms in their commutes to work, an identical dilemma suffered by DPWH rank and file who decided against wearing their uniforms to their way of work after suffering vocal displays of scorn and outrage by commuters upon seeing their work attire. Still, House Speaker D urged his fellow co-workers to work harder and begin the uphill climb of restoring public trust in the House and enjoy them toward hope and assuming tunnel vision moving forward. The White House earlier today, echoing U.S. President Donald Trump's thoughts and take, tagged or labeled the windy city of Chicago a war zone to justify the president's wishes to deploy 300 soldiers for the National Guard. They're even against the will of the city's local leaders, headed by Illinois Governor J.D. Pritzker. The latest development of U.S. President Trump's order to deploy the National Guard follows the in-wake of earlier directive of his martial law directive in the cities of Los Angeles and the nation's capital of Washington, D.C. Apparently, President Trump is using his tough on crime stance to deflect from his economy, which has slowly and steadily fallen with inflation, creeping up as a result of the harmful repercussions of his universal tariffs policy on consumers and dropping numbers on job growth due to the massive shrinkage of the federal government workforce. Then again, his controversial and unilateral decision to federalize law enforcement in blue or Democratic bastions like LA, Portland, and Chicago has been vehemently opposed by city residents and put on hold by federal judges whose rule such move as unconstitutional and against state law. So we've come to the end of tonight's show. Join us anew tomorrow's evening for another set of major stories here and abroad breaking at the hour. And always stay connected by catching the news right here. This is Gabby Lopez wishing you all a restful night ahead, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.